Okay, we are all interested, but we cannot do anything. That is our problem. Is there any chance this movement will take off and really dismiss the Modi government? Is there a possibility for that?
Actually, I think what you're doing is a great job. Please don't see it as insignificant. To magnify our voices, to take it to the widest possible, that itself is very important. And you have been doing a wonderful job in that regard. And when an organization like the All India Kisan Sabha is out on struggle on issues, this question used to come to me in post the Kisan Long March from Nashik to Mumbai. In all the meetings that I address, the question at the end, one question will be, the most popular question would be whether this would lead to a regime change. I would like to say that when we are taking up the issues of the farmers, it's the life and death issues of the farmers, agriculture workers, Dalits, and Adivasis that we have been taking up. In a genuine manner, we are trying to intervene. And when we consistently raise this issue, it also at times has some political repercussions. Here, the struggle that has been built now, it is a meticulous effort over the last 6 years. And with the Punjab farmers, actually, the manner in which they have carried forward the struggle, mostly the Punjab and Haryana farmers, that has generated a lot of hope. And like I earlier mentioned, if we are able to strengthen this unity across the country along a pro-people alternative, some of the elements of which I mentioned before, then surely we are also, already we have put this government on the back foot. Surely that could lead to a political change. That is possible, but that is a long drawn struggle. It is not a simple, very easily possible one. But the solidarities that we have built, the unity that we have been able to retain amidst different kinds of effort to divide. You see, all these groups, it is a very difficult task to have more than 300 organizations of farmers speaking in one voice. That itself is, I think, pointing in the direction of a huge possibility that is there ahead for us. So I think we can surely be hopeful that we can learn lessons from this struggle, and in coming days that can also give a direction to the politics of our country. There's actually a comment by Nalan to everyone. Yes, actually he has written, what you write in paper won't be useful to. The comment used by Comrade Varadarajan is, Chini chakkare chittappa, etile ezhdi nakkappa. Literal translation would mean that you are asking your uncle for sugar, and the uncle writes on a piece of paper, sugar, and says you can lick it. So the minimum support price for a large section of farmers today is only as good as that paper, unless assured procurement is ensured. The Modi government is actually trying to shirk its responsibility of procurement.
Yeah. Yes. My quick question, by the way, thank you so much for such an excellent presentation. I think the reverse is also true. What you guys are doing in the front line in India is what motivates us all here to do our bit to amplify your voices. My question is, in the morning's meeting, I was told we have a perception of who the farmers are, but these three acts actually affect more than what our normal perception of farmers are. Like, for example, the fisheries industry. Are there any other larger groups that are affected by these bills other than what our common perception of farmers are? Is what I want to know.
Yeah, Raj, please.
Hi, thank you for a very informative presentation. Learned a lot. One question I have for you is this relationship. These farmers are most of them are these farmers are landowning farmers, and some of them are marginal, other are kind of middle farmers, some are richer farmers who employ workers on their farms. All three of them are involved in this. So I don't see any demands. Maybe I'm not aware of any demands. How are the contract workers who work for the farmers situation taken into account in this? Because this is a multi-class movement against a corporate takeover of agriculture in India, which is a good struggle. But then there is this conflict also at the level of middle and rich farmers versus landless peasants. And could you please explain that a little bit? How is this unity forced? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aditya.
Hi, Vijoo. So my question is to do with the middleman issue, and the government's one of its claims or the beneficial factors in these bills is that the middleman is eliminated. There's a direct connect between the market and the farmer. So any loss of earnings that happened because of the middleman now directly goes to the farmer. But some of the TV interviews that I saw from the protest sites, the Punjab and Haryana farmers said that without the middleman, their trade can't progress. So how do you harmonize the government's claim and the realities of the farm market? Yeah. And how much truth is there to it? Thanks a lot for your presentation.
Thanks, Comrade Viju. My question is, I come from a farming family in Bundelkhand. And so my question is, what's probably a strategy or what's being done so that, MSP doesn't merely remain a suggestion, and procurement committees can be set up even for farmers in Bihar and Bundelkhand and Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh. Basically, how can we strategize so that this movement can be used to, push towards creating those centralized procurement committees even for the regions which supposedly don't get it? That's it. Thanks.
Hello, yes. Can I be heard?
Yeah,
Khalid bhai, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate the talk. Very, very informative. Thank you so much. My question was about in terms of just responding to the needs in Indian society. How much of the discussion is going around efforts of bypassing the market altogether? As a means of achieving food security goals and things like that. How much of the demands and efforts have gone into developing ways of bypassing market system?
Yeah, that's it. So
there is one more question on the chat window saying, I was wondering if the local people are supportive of the protesting farmers. Local people support for the protesting farmers. That's another question on the chat window.
Yeah. First question raised, how are other sections affected by these bills? I think all sections are going to be affected because all people consuming food are going to be affected, or any agricultural produce are going to be affected by this, because the changes that have been brought in the Essential Commodities Act lead to it is legalizing hoarding and black marketing. The prices will rise in a big way. It is going to affect everyone. The food security of our country is going to be affected also, and especially the marginalized section, the oppressed sections, the Adivasi communities. Already there is no reach of the markets in many areas, but wherever there is some market access to them, and some effort to create a level playing field, that is going to go with this. So you have another question which was asked by Aditya is about the middleman. So you will now have middlemen with coat and suit representing Adani or Ambani or Walmart, who will be dealing with the farmers directly. So it's not, that is what is going to happen now. And the middlemen here, which the government is trying to actually portray only a negative picture. In rural setting, many of them come from the farming communities itself. They at times help farmers in terms of immediate, often the produce when it's sold immediately, they are not able to get the price, giving the money required for the next cultivation and so on. There is a relation that is built in that manner. There are some cases where there could be an exploitation also. Middlemen directly is sometimes in terms of the weighing of the produce and such issues. There are some complaints that come. But you see, what is required is to try and address those, try and how you can plug those loopholes and to the benefit of the farmers. Rather than that, they are trying to throw the entire the baby with the bathwater, like I mentioned earlier. Raj's question about how it is the land-owning farmers. Yes, a good number of farmers who are out on protests are land-owning, and you have the richer section and all that. So the other contradictions that are there, including the caste related contradictions, do exist. You cannot say that just because on these issues they have united, those issues have gone into the background. That is not at all correct. But like I mentioned earlier, this is an issue-based unity around the three bills and Electricity Act, changes in the Electricity Act, privatization of the electricity distribution and so on. So this has united the farmers. So when this has united, these bills are going to affect even the Dalit tenant farmers, the Adivasi farmers, the tribal farmers of our country. All sections are going to be affected by it. First, in terms of exploitation by the agribusinesses at the when the produce is bought. Another in terms of the price that is being offered in the market. That is the price for which the consumers are buying these produce. So at both these levels, they are exploited. And the third act, which actually is the corporate contract farming, that also is going to lead to problems. The first example of one of the most quoted examples of corporate contract farming is the Kuppam model in Chandrababu Naidu's constituency, where an Israeli-American company called BHC Agro came with the gherkin cultivation. During my PhD research, I studied this region, Kuppam, and the model there. The farmers initially benefited because they were getting, till then they were growing food grains like ragi and coarse cereals or millets. And that was mostly for their own family consumption. But with gherkins coming in, the company was offering them money, but at 7 rupees a kg. However, soon they found that initially the government gave 100% subsidy for the fertigation system, the drip irrigation system. Gradually, those subsidies were withdrawn. The companies started deciding what would be grown on the farmers would have no right to decide that. Then once the rate is fixed also, there would be some other quality in the name of quality, the shape of the vegetables. Potatoes are not round. For our chips, you require round potatoes. So if it is round, then you get 2 rupees a kg. If it is otherwise, you get 20 paisa. You get 50 potato, a kilo of potato being sold for 50 paisa in sometimes. So that is the situation that you have. And at the same time, you have to see how the corporate companies are, when farmers, a price crash happens, that burden is put on the shoulders of the farmer. When international market prices rise, the farmers don't benefit either. I often cite the example of coffee, which was another crop that I studied in Wayanad region of Kerala. Farmers at that time were getting 20 rupees a kg for coffee bean. Nestle Blend 37 was sold at 5,600 rupees a kg then. Today, farmers are getting 131 rupees a kg for coffee bean. Nestle Blend 37 is priced at 12,000 rupees a kg, 11,999 rupees a kg, and which is available with a hefty discount on Amazon at around 6,999. So when I put this up as a post, immediately people said the cost of the primary produce and the end product, one cannot make this kind of a comparison. But you see, you can say, yes, there is cost for processing, for packaging, for advertising, for transport, all that is possible. But is Nestle Blend 37 having 37% gold dust in it? That is a question, because by this kind of vulgar kind of profits that they are able to. So this is going to affect every section. Here, the contradictions remain. The landed sections and there are tenant cultivators who are out because this minimum support price which is there. That itself, we are saying, is not enough for the farmers. The state of Kerala is procuring paddy at 2750 per quintal because they are giving about 900 rupees more as a incentive or bonus because the costs of cultivation are higher there. 1,880 fixed by the central government does not meet their costs. In parts of Bihar and Bundelkhand, which Niti was mentioning, there is no procurement. Farmers are selling paddy at 800, 1,000, maximum 1,200 in Bihar because there is no procurement and these companies are buying it at this rate. So that is why this is not a demand only of the rich. The price of the produce, primary produce, because farmers who cultivate, even the poorest farmers, they are not able to store the entire produce. It is not just, they need to have earnings for other expenses. There is no social security, pensions and all that worth the name in most parts of India. So that it affects everyone. But in the course of struggle, like on earlier, the unit is built just on the question of land rights or prices and freedom from indebtedness. In the course of struggle, united on many more issues. That is required. Organizations like ours should keep hammering, keep speaking about our core issues. Land being an issue, fight against caste oppression being an issue, forest rights being an issue, also loot of other resources being an issue. It's not just the issue of farmers' incomes alone. That we need to be consistent about that. And through the solidarities that emerge in this struggle, we should try to retain with us or wean away groups that are willing to address these questions. So that is a difficult task. But surely on many other issues, a unity is possible. Yes, Khalid's question, I want to once again hear what Khalid has asked. Bypassing the market, I just, can you make it, explain what is the answer Khalid was asking? Khalid is still online?
Yes, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I guess what I had in mind was, I'm from Ethiopia, and our country is very well known for food insecurity. And one of the things that you see in our country is that the poor workers and the farmers who are trying to participate in cash crop economy, they eat much less than the farmers who are able to grow, some measure of their own food. And in a lot of ways, it shows you how the market system is inherently anti-poor, which is an obvious kind of conclusion. So it just is baffling to me, looking at India as a country that's an exporter of food. How is it that when so much food is already being produced, that a parallel system of taking some of that surplus and allocating it by bypassing the market and directly, addressing food insecurity. Like, how is that not part of the conversation? Or let me rephrase it. How do the people who call themselves economists get away with not even engaging that as a possibility? And where does it fit in the farmer struggle and the struggle of the peasantry, overall, to see if, to push for a anti-market solution to food insecurity?
Yeah, Khalid, Ethiopia and many of the African countries, especially the sub-Saharan African countries, are in the radar of Adanis and Ambanis of our country. If you see the food grains, like you mentioned, our buffer stocks, we are almost having 4 times the buffer stock in, as far as rice and wheat are concerned. But we are having the biggest number of people going hungry to bed. Under the global hunger index, you see the dismal situation of our country. So that food security is an issue that organizations like ours repeatedly take up. Even when pulses are being cultivated in, say, Mozambique, our prime minister, the present prime minister, is the first prime minister to visit Mozambique even. And Adani is the company. Adani is one of the main importers of pulses. India, initially, the pulses being produced in India does not meet the actual requirements here. You're not giving concessions to the farmers here, incentives to the farmers here, but you are asking farmers in Mozambique to produce more so that India will get these produce from there. And in each case, when there is a commercial crop being cultivated, you rightly mentioned that commercial crop is more vulnerable to the price fluctuations in the international market and so on, and volatility of the prices affect. And whenever there is a price crash, like I mentioned earlier, the burden is transferred to the farmers. And when there is a improvement in the prices, neither do the farmers benefit from that. So it leads to a situation where their incomes are more insecure and unpredictable. It leads to a situation wherein their expenditure for buying food grains and all also is constrained at times. So that is a situation that we have. Even amidst hunger, you are having profiteering happening by these big agribusinesses. The government of India is actually standing by that kind of a system. I think I tried to address as far as I could understand, and to my best ability. There could be some issues. Thank you all for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, especially people from the East Coast. It's already past midnight. And please stay tuned to our Facebook for the further speeches and the discussion on the discussion series, and also we'll update in our website. And thank you. Good night. So before that, VIJOO would like to say and conclude something. You can conclude and we can close.
So I would say that widen this solidarity for the farmers of our country, amplify our voices. The role you're playing, I think, is a very important role. You should not try to say that it is sitting so far away, you're not able to do enough. I think what you're doing is very important. We need to try and strengthen this solidarity, because issues are linked. The solidarities between organizations that are part of this program today and wider, the kind of solidarity expressed by the Seattle Council. And I would like to express from all the organizations of the farmers, the All India Kisan Sabha, the All India Kisan Sangharsh Coordination Committee, and the United Forum, the Samyukt Kisan Morcha, my heartfelt gratitude for this kind of solidarity that is coming for the farmers of our country.